Hey guys, Ezra here and welcome back to another Ezra review. And on today's review, I want to talk about the Tim Burton movie called Beetlejuice. Decided to review this movie because again, preparing to Beetlejuice, which is the sequel that's about to be released next week, supposedly next Wednesday for me. And yeah, I'm gonna go watch that on theaters, because I am pretty hyped to see the sequel. Hopefully it's as good as the first one. But before we get to there, obviously we get the first movie, which I think is a good movie. And this is actually Tim Burton's second movie, which is pretty insane to think about, because I know Tim Burton until way later in my life, to be honest. I watched several, or I guess like I watched one of Tim Burton's movie on theaters, which is Alice in Wonderland, but I feel like that's not exactly the Tim Burton's like movies per se, because like you get the style and the gothic elements of the Tim Burton's movie, like several cheesy elements in the Tim Burton's movie, that clearly present in Beetlejuice, and honestly, you can say whatever you want about his recent filmography, because it is not great. Because I've heard the stuff that Tim Burton does with Disney is not great, to be honest, but his past work, like Beetlejuice is actually, I think it's a great movie. I think Tim Burton back in the day are, a great director. That's the reason why his styles become so well known. And for the Beetlejuice itself, it tells a story for two couples that basically tragically, I guess you could say, died because of a funny incident involving a dog, named Barbara and Adam Mainland. So their spirit got stuck in their own house. And at the time there is also a new family that moved into the house. One of them is played by Winona Ryder. You might know her from Stranger Things. He plays Lydia Dees. So there is the Dees family. One of them is played by Jeffrey Jones. Which is kind of unfortunate. Especially what Jeffrey Jones did. But one of them, named Delia Dees, is played by Catherine O'Hara, which you might know her from the Home Alone movie where he plays Kevin's mother. And yeah, Catherine O'Hara was fun in this movie. I feel like she's having a blast performing this character itself. So I think that's really really good. You also got Otto, played by Glenn Sadix, which I think does a great job playing this guy who basically just wanted to sell the house, and just all about the business and idea, and maybe something that doesn't really respect what other people's opinion was, sometimes. And I think Glenn does play that role really really well. But of course, we cannot forget the man himself, Beetlejuice, or I guess it was written Betelgeuse, I think, but it was pronounced Beetlejuice, played by Michael Keaton. This is before Michael Keaton becomes Batman, which is Falling in Love, released next year after Beetlejuice. And I gotta say, man, Michael Keaton's performance in this movie are super super great because he is super over the top, but I feel like the movie doesn't necessarily overuse Beetlejuice in a way, because Beetlejuice has like a 17-minute screen time, which is not a lot, but I feel like you do feel the presence of the character, and every single time he showed up is a blast to watch that. And all that are thanks to Michael Keaton and of course the practical effects as well. But besides like the story itself, which I think is pretty quite fascinating, the way they dealt with the death, you could say that. There is like an office that you could I guess meet some appointment, for your agent of death, you could say that. There is so many other dead people are waiting on the list itself. So I think that's a quite funny way to explore the death itself. Like I guess that the world, the death, and there's also this Saturn planet, I guess, that, and there's like this giant worm that resides there, which I think really really cool. Like I absolutely love the world of Beetlejuice in a way, the supernatural world and aspect of it. I found it to be quite fascinating. But at the same time, I also praise the practical effects on this movie, because I think Tim Burton say that the reason why the practical effects look like a B movie is because it was intentional, because like he watched many B movies on his childhood, so he wants to, I guess, like recreate that looks, but and I feel like Tim Burton makes that make this practical effects looks great in the movie itself, because they are sometimes they're pretty scary, but for the most part they are pretty funny. There is like several scenes where Adam and Barbara try to the Dees family, but like the Dees family, because they didn't believe in ghosts, they don't want to see the dead people. So they can't exactly see Adam and Barbara just trying to messing with them. And you got several hilarious practical effects, like there's one in the closet, there is one where Adam just like running around with a headless body, which I think looks great, Um, and I feel like yeah, the way that Tim Burton managed to blend between I guess the comedy and I guess somewhat a horror aspect of it, even though it's not exactly horror, because I think the creature and the practical effect just makes the creature looks funny in a way, and I think it was intentional, there is some charm for this movie, and I feel like there's also this one other scenes where Adam and Barbara trying to prank the family by making them sing, and they try to dance together in the table, and it ends with a great scare where the shrimp turns into a hand, which I think that's a really good practical effect as well, but I also give praise to the dance as well, because I think it's well choreographed. It's actually funny. It makes me excited to be honest, watching that family just dance. It makes me happy to be honest, So that's a good thing. Um, I also have to praise the score by Danny Elfman, because I think by the time the movie started, Danny Elfman's score really hooked me in, because I think it's such an amazing score, and it feels like there is the vibe and there is the energy and there is the fun aspect of the score that really complements the movie itself. Which yeah, like I think Tim Burton and Danny Elfman works together a lot, so I think they make a great dynamic duo, and I'm really happy that in the sequel, Danny Elfman does come back to score the movie, so that's a good thing, I guess I just want to talk more about the Beetlejuice, because I think my favorite sequence is where we get to see Beetlejuice for the first time, because previously we see like a commercial of him on the TV, which just kind of works as a preview to what Beetlejuice performance will in the movie, and then when we get to see him for the first time, it's actually super funny in my opinion, and super energetic as well, because Beetlejuice is a bio-exorcist, so but Adam asks Beetlejuice like, how can we trust you? And then Beetlejuice decides to, it's kind of funny because he starts speaking normally at first, and then immediately goes super quick and super energetic, where he says, I've seen The Exorcist 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Like I loved it a lot. I think Michael Keaton does a great job performing the Beetlejuice, and I'm also really appreciate that the movie doesn't necessarily again overuse the character. I feel like every single time they appear, it was effective, and also yeah, Beetlejuice is just like the guy that doesn't give a shit about anybody's opinion, because like he's just having fun pretty much with everybody. He disrespect everybody in the movie, which I kind of love Beetlejuice for that, and also I gotta also talk about this insane thing where we get to see Beetlejuice like suit, like the black and white stripes, that he wears in the poster and pretty much becoming his look, it's really weird for me, or I guess really funny for me, where the suit actually appeared in the last the third act of the movie, and that's where he wear his iconic suit. I feel like that's the only scene where he wears that, which is like, damn, okay. It's quite interesting for me then, where you get people remember this Beetlejuice iconic suit, but it barely appears in the movie. Because Beetlejuice wore a different outfit, I think, throughout the movie until he wears that iconic outfit by the end of the movie. Yeah, people remember him by that look, which is just insane to me. I think this shows that how good Beetlejuice character was, even though that he only appears for again 70 minutes in this movie. So yeah, I mean overall I think it's a pretty positive review, for Beetlejuice movie. I think it's great, it's a great second directorial work by Tim Burton, and I'm really hoping that the sequel Beetlejuice can live up to the expectation in a way, because I know that Tim Burton recently hasn't had a great track record, I feel like he kind of like lost his touch after a while. So I'm really hoping that the sequel actually feels like his own personal project. I feel the reason Tim Burton's work are actually just like the studio work, to hire Tim Burton so they can have the Tim Burton's look and then that's it, but not the soul, right? And I feel the reason why these past projects really work for Tim Burton is because it's actually his own personal ideas, his personal project, personal, passion project for Tim Burton, and I think that's why his older movies are great, compared to the modern one. And even Tim Burton admit that he has actually feel burned out by the movie industry in a way, But I'm really hoping that the sequel could be his comeback, because I would love to see Tim Burton to do weird things again, but not like too dark, I think he needs to inject some fun elements to it, because Beetlejuice is like, yeah, You could argue there is some, maybe there is some dark elements in the movie, but for the most part, people remember Beetlejuice for being a funny movie, a really charming movie with great characters, great comedy, great music, great practical effects at the same time, and it all really combines into a great movie, in my opinion. Yeah, so that's my review for Beetlejuice, guys. Cannot wait for the Beetlejuice sequels. Hopefully it will be good. And let me know in the comment section below, guys. What do you guys think about this movie? Do you guys actually like this movie, or do you guys actually didn't like this movie? And if you do like this movie, then please let me know. What is your favorite scene in the movie? What is your favorite? I guess you could say Beetlejuice scenes in the movie. Because mine is actually the first time he actually talk to the two main characters. I think those are my favorite scenes personally. Let me know all that in the comment section below, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this review, then make sure, guys, Beetle Juice, that subscribe and like button, guys, and share the videos, digital stuff, And stay tuned for the Beetlejuice sequel review. I think it should be up on Wednesday, because I'm going to see the movie on Wednesday. That's my plan. So hopefully there's no scheduling conflict, So we'll see about that. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.